Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
So good morning to each one of you, and it's a pleasure to be a part of this program and to address you in, I don't know, online, offline, what mode, but yes, to share this recording with you as if we are interacting with each other live as a live session. So I'm really proud to be associated with any kind of programs which are organized by the faculty development programs organized by the Gujarat University. Let me start sharing the screen. Also, let me tell you about the topic which I'm going to discuss today. I'm going to discuss about business intelligence and financial audit, rather not focus only on financial audit, but also focus on how business intelligence is used and how business intelligence is helpful for financial accounting, for marketing, for financial audit, and what is a sea change which these sectors have, these kind of this kind of sectors rather has witnessed due to the use of artificial intelligence and due to embedded artificial intelligence in certain areas. So let me give a brief introduction about myself. I am CMA Dr. Kinnari Thakkar. I'm a professor and head Department of Commerce, University of Mumbai. Let's start first with what the basic understanding of meaning of business intelligence. Now, when you talk about business intelligence, everybody now knows that artificial intelligence is an indispensable part of our day-to-day routine. Now, if you see our cell phones, our all devices are basically trained programmed by the artificial intelligence, and therefore when we try to search anything, we see that automatically, like if you have searched some information related to travel, flights or hotels, and after some time you log in again into your your account, or you start your computer next day on your PC or any other device, you will see that the information related to other plans related to travel, the interesting places of visits in that area which you were trying to search for, is automatically popped up. So this is what is the importance of artificial intelligence. So the intelligence will capture what kind of information you are seeking for. If you are seeking for flight, they will tell you about flights also. But in addition to that, once you go to visit that place, what all will be the other requirements related to that place? You may be searching for a hotel, you may be searching for a place of travel, new places to visit, and you may be also, they will give you good restaurants. So all these other informations are attached with one major information which you are trying to search in your device. So this is what is all about capturing the mindset of the person, the user, the end user, and using that mindset, they try to capture. After capturing that, they try to guess that, other than this, what is the related information which one as a user will try to seek for. So this is about artificial intelligence. Now, how business intelligence? What is business intelligence? Business intelligence is a use of artificial intelligence in the various sectors of business, in the various scope which we are using. Like we have financial accounting, one way, in one artificial intelligence can be used. Then you may have another option of financial audit, where artificial intelligence is used. How marketing people use artificial intelligence to gather a lot of information and to give lot of incentives and encourage the consumers to buy other related products as well, using the artificial intelligence embedded in the entire program which we are trying to use. So now without artificial intelligence, it will be the life and the entire functioning will seem to be incomplete. So business intelligence, the meaning of business intelligence is it is a set of processes, architectures, and technologies that convert raw data into meaningful information that drives profitable business action. Business intelligence has a direct impact on organizations' strategic, tactical, and operational business decision. It supports fact-based decision making using historical data. See, historical data which you have feeded in. On the basis of historical data, it will support the fact-based decision making. So it will give you an other relevant options, other related varieties of things which you are trying to seek, and that makes the decision making more easy, convenient, and you get clarity in what kind of actually what things you were searching for, and you get more choices which are available because of the use of the artificial intelligence which is available, which is embedded in the program of the device. Normally, if you talk about business intelligence and artificial intelligence in accounting, in accounting, most of the time it's just a recording of transaction. But more than accounting, BI is used for auditing as well as marketing, and of course other sectors, but we will focus only because this is a part of a commerce program. We'll focus more only related to commerce areas where these types of artificial intelligence supports in making decisions which are related to business, and you can make decisions judiciously, and prudent decisions can be made on the basis of that. At the same time, lot of raw data which one sees, a lot data can be converted into useful data, and that useful data will enable you to support strategic decisions which are to be made for any kind of business activity which you are undertaking. So what are the stages of business intelligence? First is data. Without data, nothing will work. So data becomes one of the most important source on the basis of which your intelligence algorithm functions. If there is no data, the functioning of an algorithm will not be, it will not be possible for the algorithm to function because it works on data. The more complicated the data, the more detailed and complex the algorithm also has to be set. So all depends all the algorithm and the setting all depends on what kind of data is available and how much data is, what kind as well as how much data is available. So if you see in maybe in this last week, there's a decision by the government about use of artificial intelligence to identify those bankers which are you're deviating from the set standards. The Bankers Association has set is decided to use the government, rather not the Bankers Association. The government has decided to use artificial intelligence to identify all those banks. In fact, even in insurance now it is being planned to implement to identify where there are deviations and identify whether the service providers are following the norms and the regulations which are set by the regulatory authorities. So one day, all the regulatory authorities job for identifying the outliers, the non-performers or the non-implementers becomes very easy when these kind of algorithms are set. Basically, I think we are taking that program from some other country, but looking into our country's population and looking into the spread of banks in our country, the existence of bank, the extent to which it has been, the number of public sector banks as well as private sector banks, the varieties of banks, banking facilities which are available in India, there seem to be a more detailed and a huge, an algorithm has to be prepared which can work on humongous data compared to the other countries where the population seem to be very low as compared to the population of our country. So we need a more stronger support through an algorithm which enables the users to identify, the regulatory bodies to identify the anomalies and deviations in the patterns which are the patterns which should be followed. So data becomes the oil, and therefore for the day, even in other words, talk also, conversations also, we say that today's oil is data, and data will give you everything possible to solve all your problems once you provide data, useful data, raw data, convert it into useful one, and take decisions, strategic decisions related to your business. Analysis is very important. Once your data is available with you, but if data is not in a form through which it can be analyzed, then the data actually serves no purpose. So analysis of data can also be it's an important stage of business intelligence, from where you can gain various insights related to the business decisions which are to be made in the specific sector. So basically, let us discuss more about the softwares also which are used for business intelligence. Now, for auditing and for other sectors, if you see, Power BI is an application. Power BI is an application which is used for business intelligence, as in capturing different information related to business intelligence. If you remember earlier, if you have studied commerce and auditing, you must have definitely studied something which is called as test check. You know, test check, or now we also have in research sample test. Of course, we will never be able to go for an entire population study. Normally we go for a sample study, but there are certain studies where you can actually go for entire population study, because it depends on what topic you are taking. Suppose the topic is for any case study of a company if you are doing. So if you want to know about the behavioral pattern, or maybe the promotion strategy of particular company, so you can have the entire, in the behavioral pattern, you may have to, you may have the chance of studying the entire company's staff workforce, and you may use it as your target audience. So it is quite possible that in such a case, you may not, if it's a company which is, you know, limited to the number of employees are limited, not very huge number of employees, then the entire company becomes your population. And if you consider each and every person as a target audience, and if you gather information from that, that means you are doing a study which is for the entire population. But it is not possible in case where the population is too high, and therefore the sample has to be tested. So same thing applies for auditing also. When you are doing books of accounts, checking books of accounts, basically what is auditing? Auditor has to check the books of accounts and prepare reports. An auditor has to be an independent person. So when he wants to check books, he or she wants to check the books of accounts which are related to the organization wherein he is an auditor, then ideally it is not possible for him to check each and every transaction. So there are a number of transactions, but what happens in that case? Identifying random transactions and checking only those random transactions in detail. So once those random transactions are checked in detail, the conclusion about the entire recording of transactions of the business is based on those information which you have gathered from the random checking. So if the random checking, there is no negative, or there is no deviations which are observed, that means it is assumed that the entire sample entire population, also there is an error free. Some kind of error is acceptable even in auditing, but it is assumed that the entire recording of transaction is considered as an error free recording. So that time auditors were having an escape, a leeway to say that in case if there is any major kind of fraud, misappropriation or misutilization of assets or of cash, which is found later on after the auditing is over, the auditor could conveniently say that these frauds were not belonging to the random sample which we had selected and which we had studied in detail. So that were the out of our random sample, and therefore it was not possible for us to unearth these kind of fraud which was happening in the organization. However, now majority of the companies, especially if you see big fours and certain companies, they have made their entire business system on the artificial intelligence support, based on the support of artificial intelligence. So for them, if you are conducting any audit of these kind of organizations, and if you feel that there's some fraud or some kind of major misappropriations going on, then you cannot escape, because in the use of business intelligence, the applications are so user friendly that you cannot go with the sample test. You test check. You can easily check the entire population, and you can conclude that these are the areas which were not which are away deviating from the pattern in which the recording of transaction has to be done. So artificial intelligence actually have done a lot of relief, has given a lot of relief to the auditor, provided they use it in a very provided first of all they use it, because it's not a very it's a very costlier affair to implement the entire and replace the entire system which we have been using by the organization, replace it with the use of artificial intelligence and business intelligence applications. So once this is done, then the recording, then analysis, strategic decision making, auditing, marketing, all these areas, there can be a sea change in the performance of these areas, because at the very stage of in the beginning itself, you can identify the problematic areas in various the various sectors. So this business intelligence will help you in all the three. Now, technologies, applications, and practices for collection, integration, analysis, and presentation of business information. All these will help you in providing proper information and in making strategic decisions related to business. But data driven is the most important. It is the core nerve center. It is a crux. It is a core of the part of use of business intelligence. What is the importance? As an auditor, what happens that you don't have to understand the intricacies of a technology. Technology using is more important. Technologies, how the technology has been made, that is not a part of an auditor's understanding. So auditor have to just understand the potential. Once this technology, anything, auditor, a marketeer, or a financial accountant, they will only understand the potential of it. They may not understand how the entire integrity, entire program functions. Just the basic information related to how the data can be feeded, how the input can be generated, and then what is the potential of it. That only that knowledge is sufficient for an auditor to use any kind of artificial intelligence or a business intelligence applications. So it can be a game changer for various industries. It can enable analysis of full population data and identify outliers and or exceptions. We will understand all these outliers, exceptions, identification, etc. with the help of an example. AI covers number of interlinked technology such as data mining, machine learning, speech recognition, image recognition, and sentiment analysis. Now, actually, BI is the extension of work which can be done with the help of technology. Like how we have replaced the blackboard with the whiteboard and the virtual classroom. Now, entire teaching learning process, the system, the method which we are using teaching learning has considerably changed post the pandemic period. So entire offline system is now become online, and there are so many different use of technology has eased majority of our work. For example, if you are using Google Classroom, if you are using Google Meet, or any other any of these platforms, then you can just download the attendance sheet. If you see, you add those Google attendance sheet, you download and you add it, and then attendance is automatically generated. So there are so many add-ons which are available, which will help you in reducing your work rather than taking the attendance, calling out the roll call numbers one by one. Just on one click, by using the add-ons, the entire attendance process is done. As at the same time, we have recordings of sessions which are happening all over. When these sessions are conducted, there's an recording which is done. So in case if you want to find out that some classroom that there, if there is any more clarity needed for any student who is a problematic kind of student, then you can go and check the recording, and then you can recording stands as a proof for protecting you as well as the student in any kind of any kind of what you call as yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, so if there is any kind of complaints or anything which you have to sort out the issue, then these kind of technologies are very helpful. Then data mining. Data mining is defined as a process used to extract usable data from a larger set of any raw data. So raw data is available, but from the larger set of your raw data, how do you extract a usable data? That is called as a data mining. It implies analyzing data patterns in large batches of data using one or more software. So this is also done with the help of the software. It is known as a knowledge discovery in data. So you have to just feed the data. Once you have feeded the data, then you can extract important information related to that pattern of the data, and you can extract and form one kind of usable from the entire raw data. You can make the entire data into a more usable utility based form. So if as a student, we have always learned when the technology started that garbage in, garbage out. That means whatever you are feeding as an input, the same kind of output will be generated. So GIGO was the statement when we started initially using the technology. Same thing applies here. When you are feeding wrong data, then you will be getting wrong information. So for the information which you are seeking for that you should correctly the data which is relevant, related and correct, informed for that particular purpose. Only those data should be fed into the machine. Then machine learning. The following are the two most common types of machine learning tasks. Regression, predicting a continuous quantity for new observations by using the knowledge gained from previous data. If I have ordered from Amazon say I have ordered aloe vera gel from Amazon, or I have ordered some calcium, osteocalcium tablets. When next time when I search, maybe after 15 days, the first thing which they will show me is Amazon, on the Amazon app. The first thing which will be displayed on its own will be aloe vera gel, and of different companies, list of companies which are selling aloe vera gel, and they will then come that these were the products which you had ordered earlier, information. So what is that? Predicting a continuous quantity for new observations by using the knowledge gained from the previous data. Even in search engine, if you put details from Mumbai to Goa, so next time automatically the information about Mumbai to Goa, flights available, check flights available from Mumbai to Goa automatically. So the past data is captured, and the past data is used in such a way that next time when you log on to the same device, you get immediately information related to that search which has been made. So that is a predicting, that's a regression. So this is an important task of a machine learning. Classification, classifying the new observations based on observed patterns from the previous data. So you are again identifying some new places. So if you want calcium, then again they may go for some other, maybe protein related, other things, other items which you are searching, which you may like searching for, or which may be useful to you. So these kind of information is popped up, and on the basis of that information, your the information is popped up, and you can identify various related products which you are trying to seek. Speech recognition, very common. It is converting speech to text, the ability for a machine or a program to identify words spoken aloud and convert them into readable text. Every cell phone and so many devices has now using this speech recognition technique, wherein you have to just say, and then automatically the words are typed and the information is displayed. Sentiment analysis. Customers give honest opinion on platform like Facebook, Twitter, Amazon, etc. By using sentiment analysis, the opinions can be tracked and used for ameliorating the business. So it's again business strategy to make the business better and to grow. And sentiment analysis is one way of capturing the information and the satisfaction level which is derived when any transaction is taking place. So you can capture by way of various emojis, various emotions, and through various emotions you can identify whether the product or the services is liked by the customer. And in case if there is any additional information which is also asked for, that it will also be how to improve the business by using and analyzing the sentiments which are captured. So if you understand the importance of AI and BI, it is the combination of finance function and business intelligence development. It provides an opportunity to reshape decision making and improve the performance. Business intelligence is about a company-wide recognition. It's about a company-wide recognition that a company's data is an important strategic asset that can yield valuable management information and implement change so that information is used in improving decision making. So the main reason of implementing and using the BI, business intelligence or artificial intelligence application is ease in recording, reshape the decision making, and implement the decisions strategic decisions which you have taken on the basis of information which is gathered from the use of artificial intelligence. So if you also remember that let us just start with some kind of business intelligence used in auditing. Now, what are the basic principles of an audit? In auditing, the principles which are there, those remain the same. So the BI has not replaced any of these fundamental principles. The basic principles which was more confidentiality. So confidentiality is there. Objectivity and independence. Integrity was principle. Fair presentation, true and fair view of your books of accounts. Evidence-based approach, risk-based approach, due professional care. So these tools, these entire principles have remained the same, but the toolkit which are used to achieve any of these have considerably changed. Now, for example, let us see about if in a financial institution, one has to identify whether the rate at which the loan has been extended. If you extend loan to any of to your customers, if the loan has been sanctioned, the loan has been the loan has been given to all the customers, then at what rate the loan has been given and whether the rate matches with the range in which we decided that the loan should be given. So suppose if an auditor wants to check whether there is any outlier. Okay, so for financial institutions, what is the rate at which the financial institution lends to the borrowers, the person who borrows? Not most of the time, the rate is decided on some benchmark. So if you go to any bank and say that you are interested in buying a home and you are interested in knowing the home loans rate, so they will tell you some range depending on your salary slip, whatever your retirement age, etc. They will tell you that, suppose for example, now I'm telling you the factual home loan rate between 6.7 to 6.9, that is the ideal range within which the loans are being sanctioned by various banks and by various financial institutions. Now, how this 6.57, 6.7, 6.9 and all minimum rate is decided? See, it is decided on the basis of certain benchmark, and that benchmark is in turn decided by the RBI repo rate, the rate at which the commercial banks borrow and by selling securities to the RBI. So RBI repo rate is a benchmark which enables you to decide that this is the amount within the range of these benchmark, the loans need to be sanctioned. So let us see the benchmark rate and all everything we have calculated on the, and say that is say 6.75%. Now, if there is any customer and if the customer is given loan at the rate of 5%, how will an auditor be identify? The auditor will identify if it is without BI, the auditor has to use test check method. So the auditor will take the list of customers to whom loans have been sanctioned. The auditors will take the list. The auditors may be taking the amount of the amount which has been sanctioned, and the auditors may have the rate also at which the loans have been sanctioned. Now, suppose if it runs in 10,000 thousands of numbers, is it possible for an auditor to identify and check each and every number where the rate has been less than the benchmark rate? So they will just select, certain numbers will be selected, and random checking will be done. And if in that random checking, nothing, no major deviation is observed, it means that the entire data which has been transacted is transacted and at a benchmark rate. Therefore, the auditor gives a true and fair view. Okay, but when you are applying, say, Power BI application, what will happen? I will also try to show you the screen, which is a live screen of Power BI application, or Tableau application, or Tableau which can be used. So if that kind of application is used, you can just type on the search mode that list of borrowers to whom loan has been sanctioned below 6.7%. So they will give you the list. In that again, list of the borrower to whom the loan has been sanctioned for more than rupees. In that again, that list has been already generated. After that, list of the customers to whom the loan has been sanctioned for an amount more than rupees 100 CR. So again, you will get the list. Then if you want that, depending 100 CR, I'm just telling one approximate figure. You can use some different figures depending on the audit, which company you are, or which company's audit you are doing. So if I use the Power BI, at one click in the search column, I will get the list. Now, if I see that there are certain 6 customers to whom the loan has been given, and then I can just go for detailed checking of those customers, that why these customers were given loan and what is the market, the status of that customer. So, and are those customers in any way related to the directors and related to the persons, to the management? So if it is related to the management, then auditor also can give the opinion. If the loans are given at a very, very less rate, say 3 to 4%, and they stand to be related to the management, again, the auditor can give the report. So this application enables the auditor to give a proper report. Earlier it was true and fair, but true and fair was on the basis of the random test approach. But of course now also it will be true and fair, but now it is on the basis of the sample, entire population, not sample, now entire population. You can check, you can do and tick of the transactions, and from the entire population you can identify the exceptional cases, the patterns which are which have occurred in the entire transaction. So a continuous audit approach can find deficiencies and exceptional patterns in company finances as and when they occur, and even allow for immediate mitigating actions. So you can mitigate, you can alleviate after a certain point of time, you can alleviate the entire problematic place where these type of transactions are happening, and then you can ensure that these you can cancel a payment or catch an embezzler, or you can do any kind of strategy to ensure that these transactions are not being, these kind of outliers are not being repeated. BI tools enable a dashboard with record of all activities to facilitate manual auditing, performing a continuous automated oversight on a financial transaction to detect the key performance indicators, report irregularity or an exceptional case. Now, what is a key performance indicator and how do you report an irregularity or an exception case on the basis of the key performance indicator? Again, if you are an auditor and if you are auditing a company, normally an auditor is trained to, by completing the articles and etc., is trained to perform auditing of the various companies. And in that training, generally what an auditor does is that an auditor relies on the key performance indicators. Key performance indicators means the important ratios, majority of the, or the important highlights of that particular business, or you can say market share. See, market share or earning per share or net profit, capital gearing, equity, debt equity ratio. So these kind of ratios are these kind of indicators are the key performance indicators. So you compare a key performance indicator of a company in which you are auditing with the peer group. So suppose if now I want to audit a company, say Bharat Biotech. which is the peer of Bharat Biotech. Now there's only one company as of now, that's Serum Institute of India. So Serum Institute of India, if I want to audit Bharat Biotech, my majority of the information, decisions or key performance indicators will be of the Serum Institute of India, because both approximately, if you see, both performance are almost the similar performance. So if you see that one company has say 30 GP, say market share 50%, approximately other company also has to be having the same market share, because because there are only two companies. So likewise, you have to search first a peer company, a peer group. Again, a peer group also sometimes, if there is a lot of difference between rank 1 and rank 2, a peer group is just a benchmark. It may not come allow you to come to a proper conclusion. So in that case, what you should do? That case, you should go for a database which has been a comprehensive database that has been used as a benchmark. Like Bloomberg. Okay, Bloomberg is a very comprehensive database and it allows you to choose your peer companies. So then your benchmark can be set by using, for example, just a simple example I like to give. For example, if you are say a college which is affiliated to the university. Now in Gujarat, I don't know what affiliation you have, but in Mumbai what we have so many colleges which are affiliated to, say 700 colleges are there which are affiliated to Mumbai universities. Now if my college is number 1, which is the most popular college, and if I want to compare my results with the results of the university, so university results will be a benchmark. But university includes what? Includes 1 to 700 colleges. And all 700 colleges are not exceptionally smart college. Our college is a number 1 college. But all other colleges related, affiliated to the universities may not have that exceptionally good result. So I can compare my result with the university's average result and conclude that as per this, our college results are extremely good. So we stand at a number 1 position because of that. Now when you want to compare, you should also compare with other colleges, peer colleges, where your results is exceptionally almost similar or exceptionally good. So that kind of comparison which you do, that kind of, so what you are using here, you are using key performance indicator as your result, average results of the university, average percentage of results of college X, which is a number 1 college, and average percentage of results of college Y, which is almost like number 2 college. So which is almost like a comparable peer. So in the same way, an auditor also identifies key performance indicators of the average, industry average, as well as the comparable peer. So if the benchmark is set for taking into account the comparable peers and average industry's key performance indicator, you can set a benchmark for everything. That benchmark which you have set, you can feed in the application, artificial intelligence or business intelligence application. And from that benchmark, you can say that any amount of say, for example, net profit above 40%, net profit above 40%. So any month where the net profit has been more than 40%, which is an average net profit rate, which you see. So that time, if you see that if there is 1 month where the net profit percentage is more than the average percentage, then you can do investigation, detailed investigation specifically of that month in detail. So this kind of application will enable you to first to identify an outlier, but identification of outlier is through proper data which you are feeding in. Say, and which data you have to feed in? You have to feed the data of key performance indicator. And now how you derive the key performance indicator? On the basis of the performance of the average performance of the industry, as well as on the basis of the average performance of your peer group. And on the, after deriving at a proper key performance indicator, if you feed that into the artificial intelligence app, and then you click that the number of months during which the net profit ratio was more than 40%, you will get the list. The number of expenses incurred for maybe printing and stationery, so you will get the list. This much on an average, this much expenditure is incurred every month. So the number of month where expenditure was incurred on a higher, the number of months where more amount of loans were given to the in case of banks, if I am talking, in case of banks, more amount of loans were sanctioned in a particular month. So you can set a benchmark on the basis of average, that on an average monthly sanctions of loan is worth rupees 1 crore. But there were certain months where the loan sanction exceeded much more than CR. So say it was 3 CRs. So then you can just type that number of months, the month in which the average loan sanction is below, is above 1 CR. So it will give you a list. In that list, suppose if 1 month it is 1.5 CR, 1.10 CR, 1.8 CR, that is okay. But but if it is a very huge difference between an average and 1 month, that means there is some kind of anomaly, some kind of different pattern which is followed during that month. So only those transactions you can do in detail. And once you do those transactions in detail, you can easily identify the non-complying activity. And you can identify the fraudulent activity. But for that, human intelligence also works, because it is a human intelligence which will set a benchmark, and that benchmark will be fed in and you will get the result. So you cannot say that just because of use of application of Power BI, you are able to come out with your entire problems will be solved, because your problems can be solved only if you have a proper question mark, and then only you can search for a proper answer. So this also helps you in the form of internal control. So which are the areas where BI tool can be used? Fraud detecting and getting information about the data. But a BI tool can get designed in such a way that it can form a pattern for quality and consistency of data inserted in the company's system. So it has to be inserted in the company's system, and only then it will give you, create alerts whenever new data is not at par with the usual standard of data quality. So these all technical language which is there of BI, I have explained you in a different, in a simple way, that identify an outlier, to identify an outlier, set a benchmark, and that benchmark has to be decided on the basis of different, on the basis of either the industry average or the peer group average, or on the basis of some different criteria, which has to be again used intelligently by an auditor. And that criteria will enable you to see that the data which is fed is not, if it is not at par, that means that is an exceptional pattern. The use of BI tool helps in identifying errors at an early stage. You can do it, run an algorithm on a monthly basis, weekly basis, fortnightly basis. So it will help you in unearthing any kind of exceptional patterns which are observed in the data, rather than doing the auditor coming at the financial audit. If you see, the auditor comes at the end of the entire year, and after that, if the auditor tries to tries to see what all wrong has happened during the past. So instead, if you run these applications, use these applications, run an algorithm weekly or a fortnightly basis, then you can fix the errors and ensure that all the entire business has been systematically the transactions are systematically recorded, and you get proper alerts can be raised from the basis of these applications. So it is for raising alerts for discrepancy or flaw detected by the system. This kind of detection is useful in auditing process to rectify issues and discrepancies at the earliest opportunity. If it is used in a continuous auditing business, of course, it will be more helpful because at an immediate stage, you can identify the outliers. Basically, KPIs will be helping you in relying on the number of different outliers which are likely to likely to happen. So what does it include? It includes data mining. Now, data mining will be, as we discussed, that it is converting the raw data into the usable form. Then reporting is you are reporting what kind of information has been, what kind of information has been generated. Performance metrics and benchmarking, identifying the KPIs. You also use the descriptive analysis for making certain decisions. What is descriptive analysis? You identify the average, standard deviation, skewness, kurtosis, mode, and quartile. All these kind of statistical techniques which are used is description and descriptive analysis. Querying is to identify the outlier. Statistical analysis, to apply different statistical tools to identify and analyze the data. Then you are visualizing, visual analysis, you have data visualizing and data preparation. So finally you prepare the information, and on the basis of information you make strategic decisions. So I just like to show you that this is the screen of application. This is a Tableau application. Now here what is happening is, here I am just typing what is the total sum of discount which are given to our customers, average discount given to our customers. So accepting. So I will get list of customers and I will get on one side, see the discount. So here I am writing what are the highest discount customers. So the list of customers. So I am getting the highest discount customers. I can write the region. Which region you are getting the highest discount customers? The more of the highest discount customers belongs to region East region. Okay, so this is the live screen of Power Application, which will enable you at a click to generate data, useful data related to your business. So it can also be in the form of, say, if you want to know the GDP of country, it can be in the form of different map, that different countries, and they will display the GDP in different colors. I don't know whether you will be able to see these colors here on the screen. So these entire map, if you see, on the basis of the map reading, you can identify that these countries with dark blue have more GDP and these is highest GDPs, and you know, with light blue shade, the GDPs are an average GDP of the country. So now if you say there is a myth that humans will be replaced by artificial intelligence, every term which I have explained, I had explained that it is not possible, because the decisions are made by the the data which has been generated from the artificial intelligence, but the artificial intelligence will be able to generate data and give data only if a proper input is fed. And who is the one who is going to feed the input? Feeding of input has to be done by the persons, manual. So that is the reason why you will not lose job. So it's a myth that it is a most likely to lose all jobs. Computers will be killers in future, but it is not possible, as losing job is not something which is purely based on the decisions of the computer, because computers' decisions are fed by humans, and humans are the more analytical. Humans have to more apply the analytical mind to feed the correct information. So let me give one example to you about the use of artificial intelligence in marketing. There was a one time when, you know, Flipkart, there were a lot of customers who used Flipkart for ordering, and Amazon for ordering their various products. Now there was a case when in especially which was witnessed by Flipkart, that whenever a customer placed an order, that time the order was placed and the option was given to the customer that payment has to be made either by credit card or by delivery, on delivery payment. So payment on delivery was one option. So there were certain areas where once the order was delivered, just when the application showed that your order is on the way, is about to be delivered by say 10 minutes, 10 hours, 5 minutes. So at dot by 5 to 10, 7 minutes before the time the order was delivered, there were cancellations of the order. And there was a trend which was followed, that in particular transactions, always we see that there are particular times there were always cancellations of the order. So an artificial intelligence algorithm was run to identify that which pin code there are cancellations. Because if you order, you have to write your address for delivery, and pin code and zip code is a very important data information which is needed, required by the person, by the e-commerce platforms. So artificial intelligence algorithm was run, and successfully it could identify that there was one zip code where majority of the cancellations used to happen. So when these cancellations used to happen, the strategy of Flipkart was changed. And the strategy which was made is the orders will be delivered only if you make payment before at the time of order. That is, cash on delivery was not allowed to that particular pin code. So before, I mean, when you place the order, at that time only your payment should be made, else delivery will not be done. Now what happened after making this change in this strategy, there were in fact no orders which was found were cancelled once the order was about to reach the customer's place. So then in that case, the companies could not, could save a lot of time and their money in delivering the orders, because the entire order system just before reaching the customer was changed. So this is how, artificial intelligence can be used to improve your marketing. Also, one more example I like to say, that there are certain, if you order from e-commerce platforms, you may be observing that there are certain credit cards which are given more benefit, for like cashback recovery, cashback to the customer. Now, how these kind of decisions are made? When these decisions are made, the decisions are backed by the artificial intelligence information which is gathered captured by the system. Now, practically, if you see, e-commerce platforms are indifferent between two credit cards. They don't have the special treatment to one credit card, and they don't have that kind of special preference which is to be given to one type of credit card. But the artificial intelligence algorithm captures the information related to which credit cards are used more for buying which type of goods. So it was observed by one of the platform that say HDFC credit cards were used more for buying high value of goods. So high value of goods, money, they had also given some range that these are the high value of goods. From this range to this range, if you purchase, those tends into the high value of range. So then what the strategy was made, that when these cards are more used for buying high value of goods, let us give some kind of cashback for the customers, to the customers who are using these kind of credit cards. So this is again an example where a business intelligence helps you in promoting your products by combining that promotion with past experience. Whatever is experience, they have data which has been gathered from the past, you are using it for the benefit of your marketing strategy, and you are trying to increase your customer base by giving different options and by giving a different kind of facilities, additional benefits to your customers. So this was also one important decision strategy which was adopted by e-commerce platform companies for increasing the popularity, for increasing the customer base of their products. So you may also have observed that you have, coupon code. There are so many companies, again, they give you coupon code, that you use this coupon code for the online transactions, and then you will get these kind of discounts. So to attract the customers, you may also have gift cards which are given, and cashbacks and gift scratch cards which are given. So you can use these different platforms and get important benefit out of that. So I think this is about the some important examples related to use of mainly use of artificial intelligence or the business intelligence which you are using for the purpose of improving your auditing as well as your marketing strategies. So friends, remember that there is only a change in the toolkit. Majority of the toolkit which an auditor or a marketer use, the toolkit is changed because it has been embedded by the artificial intelligence programs. Else the system, the process has remained the same. So these applications are helping us to come out with various decisions which will enable, which will help your widen your customer base, which will help your auditing to be auditing will be done in a faster and a very systematic, more systematic approach in the conduct of audit. So insurance companies also now using the softwares, though costlier softwares, not affordable by almost all the insurance companies, huge but big insurance companies, they use these kind of softwares and application to gather information and to gather through machine learning, train the computers through machine learning to identify their past information and predict what should be implemented in future. So with this, I thank you all and hope that it will be the entire refresher course will be a learning session for you. The course in which you are participating right now will be a very fruitful and learning sessions for you, and hope that we meet either on live sessions or we may meet even offline at one particular point of time. So thank you very much.